Hello and welcome, my name is Veronique. In this space what I do is I test makeup for a mature skin. I'm 49 years old and I have found that on my journey of aging, I have found products that used to work for me in my 20s and my 30s do not serve me very well today. So for the last year and a bit I have been on a bit of a journey to find some makeup products that work really well with a mature skin. But of late my content has been very few and far between. So I thought what I would do is I would do a little get ready with me and a bit of a life update so that I can chat to you about what I've been going through, and maybe you and I can find some common space, and if you're feeling the same way as I am, maybe I can give you a bit of encouragement, or if you have been through this lovely menopause journey, maybe you can give me a little bit of encouragement. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start and do my makeup. What I will do is I will link all the products that I use on my face today in the description box below. So if there's anything that you like the look of, that you can go and have a look and see what I have used. So without any further chit chat, let's get into today's video. So I'm just going to start off my face. I'm just going to prime with a new primer. I haven't used this one before, but I thought I'd give it a go. Why not? And then yeah, let's just start chatting. So for me, I am finding the transition into menopause quite a trying and difficult space. So I had a hysterectomy when I was about 45 years old. I was exactly 45 years old, not about. So at 47, I started to experience some of the menopausal symptoms. Simple ones like your hot flushes. I was battling a little bit with my sleep, but I found right in those beginning stages is that the symptoms kind of come and they go. It's almost felt quite cyclic. So I would be fine, and I took a couple of little herbal remedies and that seemed to like do the trick, or I would try and sort out my eating in terms of like eating for your hormone health, and yeah, I thought maybe I'd beat the system because all of a sudden I was feeling fantastic. Fast forward about a year into my little journey, and the herbal remedies were not working very well for me. So what I decided to do was go for a little blood test with my GP. So my GP, he's a very precious man. I have been seeing him since I got married, and next year's 30 years. He is the most amazing man. He's actually heading for retirement soon, and I dread having to find a new GP. Anyways, so I had my blood test, and then when I went in to go get my results, he said to me that my estrogen count was low, and that it looks like I'm definitely in my menopause phase of life. I obviously haven't had a period since 45 because I've got nothing left in there other than my 2 ovaries, which were left in. At 47, I had a weird growth on one of my ovaries and I had that removed. So just after that, my symptoms had started. I digress. There's going to be a lot of that. My brain at the moment is all over the show. So anyways, so I went to my doctor, I got my results from him, and he said to me he highly recommends that I look at going on HRT. And I remember at the time I said to him, absolutely not. I said, I've heard horror stories about HRT. I'm scared of that. My system is very sensitive. I don't want to have to put any weird hormones or anything in my body, because I had read that HRT increases your rates of cancers and whatnot. And he is a very stable man. He's not a fly by night. He always gives very good advice, and he said to me that so much research has been done in recent years and that HRT actually is very beneficial for women, and more women should look at going on it, but I need to do my research and I need to go and perhaps see my gynecologist. So I thought, okay, no, that's fine. I will carry on with my natural stuff that I'm doing and I will see how I go. But what I then started to find is that obviously the symptoms started to get a lot worse. So I eventually went to go and see my gynae, sat in her office, and I just explained my symptoms. So at that stage then it was obviously the hot flushes, the sleep was very bad, I was battling to sleep, and I was starting sprouting hair all over my chin. Like, I mean, seriously, like I've got to get a razor out and actually start shaving my beard. It's ridiculous, these black hairs that pop out. Have you experienced that? It drives me bananas. Anyways, what else? brain fog. Oh my gracious, the brain fog was just too terrible. So then she said to me, look, I'm definitely a candidate for HRT. Because I've had a hysterectomy, I can't take anything orally, so she would recommend something that I put on my skin. So she started me off on a gel. For my under eyes, I'm just going to quickly just pop on a little bit of Aquaphor, and I found this trick. I digress. This trick I saw online by Scott Barnes. Oh my word, he's the most incredible makeup artist. He uses the Aquaphor lip balm under the eyes, but here in South Africa we do not get the lip balm. We just do for like very cracked dry lips, but not the one that he uses. So I have been using this Aquaphor under my eyes, and then I found that my concealer does not cake underneath and crease. How interesting. So anyways, so let's get back to the menopause journey. So I then went on the gel, and the gel took about, I'd say 3 months, no I lie, took about, I'd say 2 months to get into my system, and from about 2.5 months I actually started to feel a bit of relief, and I felt like my life was coming back into whack. And did that for about a year, and I'd say towards the end of last year, yeah, December into January, things definitely started to feel a lot worse. I was feeling quite anxious and feeling very overwhelmed. The brain fog was absolutely next level. I mean, I do the most random things. I will take meat out of the freezer to thaw for supper, and I'll come back into the kitchen and see that there's meat on the counter once it's thawed, thinking what the heck, and then I put it back in the freezer, and then Ian gets home and the family gets home, and what's the supper? I'm like, oh wait, I was supposed to take, oh my word, I took meat out and I've refrozen the meat, so then I have to then obviously toss that. Or I went shopping, did my grocery shopping and forgot to buy milk. You know, and it's just like weird stuff that you just think, seriously girl, stuff that I do all the time, and now I can't keep it together, and trying to have a conversation is hysterical. So I upped my dose of the gel that I was putting on my legs, my thighs. That's where I was told to put it, and I wasn't getting any relief. So I went to go and see my gynae again in the beginning of the year, because now my symptoms feel like they're completely out of control. The anxiety is absolutely next level. It's the most ridiculous thing. I mean, I was like walking through the shopping center, and if I would have to speak to anybody, the social anxiety, which is something that I've never really battled with, but I would like break out into a cold sweat, be drenched in perspiration speaking to people, or having to drive somewhere where I've driven before. The anxiety was next level. The sleep was absolutely non-existent, and then the most disparaging thing I think has been for me the weight gain. So I, over the last 4 years, have been on a weight loss journey. I've lost about 25 kilograms, which I was so incredibly proud of myself. At the gym 5 days a week, oh my word, I felt like superwoman. So in the last 18 months, I have picked up now, I think 17 kilos, and it's soul destroying. I just like, this is such a difficult space of life where I'm turning 50 and I feel like I'm losing control of who I am. You know what I mean? It's just like such a scary space, and the well-meaning people that I speak to sometimes are just like, well, Nix, what you need to do is just change your mindset. Ian is he's an incredibly wonderful husband, but he has often said to me, you need to change your focus. But what I'm starting to realize is that one cannot change one's focus when your hormones are raging on the inside of you, because something's missing from your body. The estrogen that keeps everything in balance now is depleted, and your brain seems to not be able to function properly. Interesting. So I've done a lot of reading, and I have also found some incredible people online that I follow. I'll link the 2 doctors that I follow online on the Instagram side of life, and these women have been quite interesting to listen to, because what I've been going through, they seem to be they say it's very normal. And you know what, to hear that your brain fog and your grumpiness and the depression that you feel and just not wanting to get out of bed and the absolute anxiety of it all, and is all actually very normal. So now what I've done is, obviously I said to you I went to go back and saw my gynae in the beginning of the year, and I just said to her, listen, I actually can't deal. The anxiety is too much. I can't deal with the hot flushes. They are ridiculous. And I just don't feel like myself. I'm not a depressed person. And I feel like I'm hopeless. I'm like in a very dark room with no light. You know what I'm saying? So she said to me, listen girlfriend, the gel clearly is not doing what it needs to do. We're going to put you on a higher dosage of the estrogen, and she's going to give me a patch. Well, that for me has been a game changer, let me just tell you. That and the fact she said to me what she needs to do is send me for another blood test to test my thyroid, because the weight gain is just, it's not normal. You're not supposed to pick up that much weight. So there must be something else that's going on. So true as nuts, my little thyroid is not a happy little guy, and is quite underactive, which I've also found goes hand in hand with the menopause phase of life, because your thyroid needs estrogen to work really well. So I'm now on a bit of medication for my thyroid. I'm going for a little blood test, I said earlier, just to go and test if the medicine that I'm using is actually working. Let's hope it is. So yeah, so that's my space at the moment. I just feel so bad because I see on my channel, which is so exciting, is that there are new subscribers that join in my phase of life, looking for, you know, tips and tricks and makeup that works for us, and I am like not doing what I said I was going to do when I started this channel. I mean, and not for a lack of my intention is there. I bought so much makeup to test. I mean it's a lot, and all it sits here, and then I'm like, oh, maybe I'll try that one. It just sits here, and yeah. So I've got a lot of stuff, I've got a lot of content to create, but it's just the will to sit and do it, when I just feel like all I want to do is just sit and lose myself in a book, and my life is passing me by, and yeah. So now I'm on the patch, and I will say that my anxiety has pretty much left. Thank you, Jesus, for that, I promise you. I will also say that the hot flushes are pretty much non-existent at the moment. I do sometimes feel like a little bit of a warmth on the inside of me, but that seems to go quite quickly. There are days when I feel low, but I think that's normal. You know, my body is going through a transition, and if you're going through the same thing, you know, I am told that it doesn't last forever, although it feels like it's a little bit like a never-ending journey. Although I did speak to somebody about 2 weeks ago, and oh my word, did she give me so much hope. I went to a family function in Durban, and she went through her menopause early, so she's through it, and she just said to me, there is light at the end of the tunnel. She's like, when she got through it, she just said it felt like someone flipped a switch, and she was like, oh my word, I'm back to normal. Oh, I feel normal again. So I don't know what normal is meant to be. I think learning to embrace this phase is a difficult one, because I really do not enjoy who I am in this phase, and I know I've got to grow through this to get to the next phase. I don't know what to say, you know. What do you think? Have you been through this? What are you going through? You know, are your symptoms anything like mine? You know, do you take anything other than HRT? I have taken, or I am taking, some supplements like health-wise. I take extra fiber, and I make sure that I take magnesium every single day. I've also changed my whole sleep time routine, because the sleep for me has been quite a thing to get used to, not sleeping all through and battling to fall asleep. So I have what Ian calls, and my sister funnily enough calls, my sleepy music. So I've got a little playlist on Spotify, and it's like deep meditation music, and I play that before we go to sleep, and that seems to at least help me fall asleep. I also do some like I think it's called vagus nerve stimulation, where I, you know, rub my feet and oh, excuse me, my hair is all over the place, where I rub my feet with some cream. I do my facial massage with the that microcurrent device. I'm still using that guy. That's about the only thing that has been consistent, that in my skincare over the last 6 months. And then also I saw something where if you put your hands together like this before you fall asleep, just before this knuckle here, and you hold your hands like that and you're quite stiff, and then when you release it, apparently it also just releases tension in your body. So that is my little sleepy time routine, and it seems to be working. I seem to be falling asleep better and staying asleep for a little bit longer. I wake up tremendously early, and then it's very difficult to go back to sleep. And then when I do go back to sleep, then I'm like shattered when I have to wake up again, because now it feels like I've been awake since the middle of the night. You know what I'm saying? It's so random. I don't want this to be a video where I'm complaining all the time. But I find that women, we do not speak about this phase of life. If I speak to my mom about it, she was going through a very traumatic stage at this age in her life, so she cannot remember what menopause was like for her. I think she actually went through it a little bit earlier than what I am. And it's like, I read on the internet the other day, it's the article that I read, and it hurt me in the sense that it was like, women don't speak about their menstruation when they start the menstruation and when they start menopause, because it's almost like a shameful thing to talk about. And it's so ridiculous, really, because how can aging be shameful, where, you know, this is part of the aging process? I just want to know how to make the process a little bit easier. You know, if taking HRT for me is helping me with my journey to take it easier, and the health benefits of what this HRT can do for me in my later life is quite phenomenal. The reading that I've been doing tells me that the #1 killer of women is cardiovascular disease. Did you know that? I mean, that's quite something. So HRT apparently strengthens your heart over time. It also reduces your risk of colon cancer, as well as, I think, breast cancer, I think I read. And it also really helps strengthen your bones and helps with reducing osteoporosis, which I have in my family. My granny had osteoporosis on my dad's side. So if there's something I can take now that's going to help me in the now and in my later life, then I'm going to do that. And it's not a shameful thing. It's just part of aging, which I keep on saying to myself. It's what did I say? I see how the brain goes. Aging is a privilege. That's it. It's a privilege. I don't know if it's a privilege. No, it is. It's a privilege. It's a privilege. It's a privilege. Anyway, all right. I'm going to just do my eyes, which has just been my go-to. I just want stuff that's quick and easy to do, stuff that I don't even have to think about. So these Stix are just, oh, I love them so much. And this purple or lilac, I really enjoyed it. So that's my story. I hope this hasn't been too all over the show. I'm not gonna apologize. I hate it when people do that. I can't handle it when people apologize. So I'm not gonna apologize. Shall I say I'm sorry for being sorry? No. Anyways, so yeah, that's my space at the moment. I've also changed my exercising that I do. So I'm trying to keep up with my strength training. I have been finding it very difficult to get myself and the motivation to the gym. So my strength training is definitely something that I'm keeping up with, because I know that bone density is absolutely imperative as you get older, and we don't look after that, so we need to. But what I have actually stopped is the high intensity exercise. So what I was doing was spinning twice a week and boxing once a week, which I absolutely loved. But I just find I'm too tired. I'm exhausted. It's just like I don't have the energy and the strength to actually think about, oh, do I really want to spin for an hour, or do I really want to go and box and do a million burpees, is what we do in between the boxing. And no. So what I've done is I've joined a Pilates class, and that has been divine, because it's a space where I have to be accountable to, and I really enjoy the movements and the breath, the breathing. That for me I found has actually been very calming and restful. So although the workout is incredibly challenging, if you've done anything like yoga or Pilates before, it's quite something, but I'm really enjoying that space. So I actually look forward to that once a week on the Thursdays when I usually go, and yeah, I'm loving that. All right, let's have a look at this face and see. She needs lips, and eyebrows. And I'm so busy chatting, I don't even think I've done my face in any type of order. Just gonna do my brows. Okay, I really have enjoyed this one from Benefit. This is precisely my brow wax. I have really enjoyed this one. It's not a cheap product, but it really does work quite nicely. I love the effect, and keeps these little brows where they're meant to be. I did have them tinted a little while ago, so at least it looks like there's something on my face, which I quite like. I would recommend that you do that if you've got brows to tint. And I actually went to the Benefit counter, and it's a service that they offer. They shape and tint your brows while you wait, and they wax them too, which is great. So for a few minutes you do look like an angry bird in the shop when they put the tint on, but I'm so happy, it looks so pretty. I quite like it. Okay, while that's set, I'm gonna use this L.A.Girl. It is a lip primer, and this really works well to stop the lipstick from feathering in your lines. Really enjoyed this one. What I've also loved is also from Benefit is this highbrow pencil. It's a duo pencil, so it's got two sides. It's got a light, and then it's got a shiny metallic side as well. So the metallic bit I put underneath my brow bone and in my inner corner, and it's the most divine formulation because you don't have to use a brush or anything. You can actually just use your fingers. Works so nicely. It also works really well in the waterline, just to look like it's brightened up. And then when I take the matte side, I actually just draw in the hollows of my eyes, and I find that it just gives it a little bit of a brightening look. They don't look as tired. It works quite nicely. Okay, so now I'm going to pop on my mascara, which is the L'Oreal Panorama. I haven't tried that one before. Maybe I should quickly curl them. Shall I curl them? Yeah. Okay, so it's quite a hard brush. I haven't used this. I'm not a fan of big plastic brushes though. They usually hurt my eyes, but let's give it a go anyway. So that's it. So that is my space where I'm at mentally at the moment. I feel like I'm actually getting to a space where I'm excited to want to film again. So I think you can expect to see more content for the second half of this year. I'll keep you updated as well, you know, how the weight works, if I can get a handle on the weight gain. And well, I mean, the weight gain seems to have stabilized. I haven't picked up anything more, and thankfully I also found part of the symptoms that I was having was intense sugar cravings. I have never in my life craved sugar like I have craved in the last 6 months. I honestly felt like a bit of maybe what a drug addict must feel like. I mean, I don't even know if that's like an okay thing to say, but if I could not eat anything that had sugar in it, the shakes that I would get and the absolute anxiety that I would feel. And I'm not an anxious person. I really am not an anxious person. I don't enjoy heights. They make me feel like a little bit scared, but I'm not afraid to go to a new place. I'm not afraid to speak to people. I'm not an anxious person. But the anxiety that I have felt the last 6 months, I have compassion and empathy for people that battle with this full time. It must be the worst thing if that is what your story is. I empathize with you. But yeah, so I will say that the HRT for me has helped. And yeah, and then I just wanted to quickly tell you the patches. So I battle a little bit with sticky stuff, but I was so desperate, I'm like, I'll take whatever. There are 2 patches on the market here in South Africa. There's the Estradot, which is the one I use, and then there's another one. I cannot for the life of me remember what it's called, but as far as I understand, here in South Africa there's 2. It's Estradot and something else. The something else, the patch is fairly large, and I found that it made me itch. Oh my gracious. But I wanted the estrogen so badly, and they were out of stock of the Estradot, so I just took the other one. And let me just show you, it's really tiny. I mean, that's the size of my patch. And this little guy has, I think, saved the day for me. I can say to you now that if you are battling with symptoms and you are a little bit nervous to try anything HRT related, go and see your doctor. Go have a blood test and have a chat to your doctor and get an informed decision. Do not listen to hearsay. Don't go on the internet and listen to someone who is not qualified to give you any proper information. Go to your doctor, your healthcare professional, and go and see about getting something for your hormones. I have found that getting the hormones have been a game changer in my house as well, because now I'm more at peace, my home is more in peace, my family's more at peace, and yeah, I'm starting to feel a little bit like the Veronique that I know. I still miss that girly from a few years ago, that strong one, but I have to embrace who I am today and say that's okay. This is just a season, and the next season's going to be fantastic. So this is the pause, the pause before a better season. Well, that is it from me. My face is done, I think. Yeah, it's a very simple, easy little look. Needs a bit more blush, I think. Looks a little tiny bit pale. But I'm always a little bit nervous to put too much on. But, oh, this one's divine. This is the one from Nars. Orgasm is the name of that. So there we go. Let's have a look up close. Oh, that looks much better. Much better. Well, there we go. So if you are going through this phase, you're not alone. What are you doing? What are you taking? What tips and tricks can you pass on to people that might read something in the comments? My take home is go and see your doctor if you're not feeling good and get something for it, because I think life is too short to have to battle. And you want to be happy, and we want peace. Well, for me, I want peace. Desperately want peace. Peace in my body, peace in my mind. Yeah, and I suppose once that happens and the medication kicks in and we can transition into this next phase, maybe I can then try and sort out my eating habits again, get back into my routine of going to the gym daily, because I know exercise is, they say, the #1 thing to actually help us through this phase of life. So we need to get ourselves to gym, lift some heavy weights, and yeah, that's it from me. I hope that you got something from this video. I will be back to my normal filming. I have got a new foundation from Revlon to try out. I'm quite excited about that one, and a new concealer from them too. So that might be the next one. Or I also have got the colored mascaras from Maybelline. I have been loving those, so I might do one of those. We'll see. I'll catch you in the next one. You stay safe, and we'll see you soon. Bye.